graduating that he will still have a strong connection to us. So let's please give a big hand to Mr. Mitchell Ling.
Thank you, Principal Cash, for those kind words. First of all, let me say that it's truly an honor to stand before the Monterey Highlands class of 2009. My name is Mitchell Ling. I'm the mayor of the city of Monterey Park, but most importantly, I'm the proud father of my son, Derek Ing, who's also part of this graduating class. Now, Monterey Highlands holds a special place with our family. Not only is it the school that my daughter, Chantal, graduated from, but it's also the school that my wife, Gloria Ing, also graduated from. So we have 2 generations here at Highlands. I want to wish to thank the teachers and also, once again, Principal Cash for inviting me here to share my story. And before I share my story, I just want you to know I did get permission from my son, Derek, that I can talk about him. You know, there comes a point in a parent's life when you realize that your child is growing up. When Derek was 5 years old and on his first day of kindergarten at New Avenue School in Monterey Park, he sat next to me on the bench, not wanting to play with the other kids. And when the school bell rang, he clung onto my leg like a bear would clung onto a tree. He wouldn't let go, and he began to cry. He wanted to go home with me. He didn't want to go to school. It took 10 minutes for the kindergarten teacher to pry him and separate him from me, while she pulled and I pushed. And this went on as a ritual for 3 months. So what happens from that point in time to now when my son tells me, by the way, Dad, just drop me off the corner, I can walk the rest of the way. Or don't talk to my friends, Dad. Don't hang around with me, you can go home now. So what happened from the age of 5 to now? Is it because I'm no longer cool? Now my son Derek teaches me how to dress. He says, Dad, nobody tucks in their shirts anymore, they let it out. And he tells me, hey Dad, nobody wears the shorts that you wear, nobody shows their thighs anymore. We were at the Rose Bowl Stadium in Pasadena watching a UCLA football game, and he pointed out to everybody, look Dad, nobody wears the type of shorts you wear, only the girls wear those type of shorts. You know, the Monterey Park Police Department had their annual picnic at Knox Berry Farm. And my son saw the invitation on my desk, so he said, hey Dad, we're going to go to Knox Berry Farm. So I thought, hey, maybe I'm a cool dad again. By the way, can I invite Charlie and just drop us off and pick us up when the park closes? So I'm thinking to myself, am I semi-cool or am I just a chauffeur? You know, I grew up in Canada and working at my parents' restaurant that we owned since the age of 10. You know, I waited on tables, I cleaned the tables, I was a busboy, I helped my mother wash the dishes, and I also was the cashier. You know, I had the opportunity because I came out here and I attended UCLA and later on went on to graduate school and earned my MBA degree in finance. And because my parents were short-staffed one summer, I went back to help them out. And so my mother throws me a wet towel and said, go wipe the tables. I said, wow, with all that education. You know, I asked her, if I went back and earned a PhD, would you still ask me to wipe tables? And she said, yes, because you're my son. So what I learned from that is, we should never feel that we're too proud of whatever we accomplish to do the work that our parents and grandparents did when they first came to this country. And the second thing I learned is, we will always be our parents' child, no matter what. My father only had a 10th grade education in China before he immigrated to Canada. And like his father and my grandfather, they opened up a restaurant. And so he passed away actually last year, but every week he would call me maybe once or twice, and he would tell me how to cook meals. He would teach me how to make wonton soup. And I would tell him, Dad, I've been making this wonton soup for 27 years. You don't have to repeat it over and over. And then it dawned on me that, you know, in life, there's probably nothing that my dad could teach me that I didn't read in a textbook or learn from my own experience. But what my dad was just looking for was respect. And so later on in my life, I learned just to sit there and just to listen to his stories. You know, I just want the students to be reminded that it doesn't matter if you're a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, or even the mayor of Monterey Park, that you should always remember the sacrifice of your parents and grandparents. When I was installed as mayor last month on May 2nd, I shared a Chinese saying, and the English translation is, when you drink water, think of the source, which means do not forget those who helped you from the beginning. So at this time, I once again congratulate the class of 2009, and just remember this thought. As a parent, I understand now that as my children get older and they want to spend more time with their friends and more time with school activities, it is me who's sitting on the bench hoping the bell doesn't ring. Once again, I want to thank all of you for coming, and enjoy the rest of your program.
Thank you, Mr. Ng. We're very proud to have him as a parent here at Monterey Highlands and as the mayor of our city. Our next